guys, welcome back to my channel. Chances are the reasons why you're here is because you want to better your study habits, get new study habits, or tweak your study routine. So today, I'm going to go over my study routine, give you some study tips and tricks that you can use, or you don't have to use, or you can take and kind of tweak it and make it your own. Everybody is different, so my study routine might not work for you. Some of you might watch this and be like, ooh, I'm gonna try that. Some of you might watch it and be like, that ain't for me, sis. But it's okay. So I'm just gonna show you what I do, and then we're gonna go over some study tips and tricks. So let's get right into it. Why is it important to have good study tips, study habits, or study routine? It's important because you want to be successful in your tests, in your classes, in your courses. You want to get high grades, but most importantly, you want to retain that knowledge and actually learn something. Everybody's different, like I said, and everybody's going to have a different little style. It comes from how you learn. So think of what type of learner you are. Like, I'm a visual learner and I'm a hands-on learner. So for all my people who get books online, shout out to you guys. But for me, I have to have the physical copy in front of me. Like, I have to physically highlight. I have to physically write things down. And studies show that when you write things down, that is what's gonna help you retain that info. For all my students out there that are just taking classes, and specifically my nursing students, you're gonna get some heavy content with like so much material. You're like, how do you expect me to know everything? Like, I've thought that so many times in nursing school. I'm just like, in class, like, all right, cool. Like, we're getting tested on this in 4 days. Let's do it. Like, but really inside, I'm like, how am I about to do this? I learned that once I came with a routine, I knew how to go into it and get what I needed and be prepared for the test. So let's go straight into some study tips. So first off, know your class, right? So know what class you're in, know who's teaching the course, and sometimes you don't really know exactly what to expect until that first test. So be kind to yourself on that first test, because once you get that first test out of the way, you're kind of like, okay, so this is how you're doing it. So this is how you're testing us. Kind of use that test as like, okay, so this is what I need to study for. This is how I need to study and what to expect. Read the class, read the professor that you have, and read yourself. Be real with yourself. If you know you're gonna need time, give yourself more time. Personally, you know, you have those students in the class where you look around and they're just like, they got it, right? Me, I knew I had to put in extra time, like, to get things. So I had to dedicate personally a lot of time. Maybe some people don't have to dedicate as much time, but for me, I knew I had to grind it out. A lot of people get it twisted, right? So you go and you got your material. You're like, do I read the whole book? Or do I read certain parts of the book? All of those questions you're asking. And then a lot of the times too, I see people who just study for hours straight.
10 hours later.
Don't do that. Or you hear like your classmate and they're like, I was up to 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. studying. And you're like, ooh, I went to bed at 8. Should I have been up till 2 a.m. studying? Unless you are a night owl and that works for you, okay. But I would suggest that don't do that, because you need that time to sleep, because you're gonna perform better when you have sleep in your system. And a lot of the times when you're studying that late at night or for a certain amount of time, your brain is not gonna even retain the information that you're studying. Personally, what I do is I make a plan. I usually kind of write down my plan, what I wanna get done in that day or in that study session. And sometimes I overestimate myself or underestimate myself, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this chapter, this chapter, or this chapter. And by the first chapter, I'm like, I am not focused right now. I can't do it. So listen to your body, listen to yourself, and step away. It is okay to step away. And if you don't get as much studying done as you thought, that's okay too, because what you got done, at least you were able to focus in and actually retain that information. You don't want to just be sitting there tired. If you're tired, your brain is tired, it's not going to retain the information, you're not going to learn, and really, you're just wasting your time. I've been in that position though, because I'm like, I literally am so tired and I can't study, I can't take it any longer, but I know that if I step away, I'm going to feel guilty. And that's a whole another topic. that will be coming to you soon. Learn yourself too. If you're just saying like, oh, I can't retain the information, I can't study, and you're like, bye, like I'm done. I'm not studying. I'm done for the day. Texting the girls, what's up? What we doing today? We're gonna go eat. Like, I'm about to watch this Netflix show. You know, I'm gonna just watch one episode, then it turns into 2 episodes. Then at the end of the night, you done with the season. Like, that was not just 1 episode, sis. So just be cautious too, because you have to be real with yourself. You have to have that conversation and you have to be real with yourself. So are you genuinely not being able to focus because you're literally tired and you can't think anymore? Or are you just don't feel like studying? Because that's the difference. Because in that moment, you have to literally show up. You have to show up as your best self, do the best you can, and say, hey, look, you're tired, and I know you feel like you don't want to study, but you still have some momentum in you, and I know you can still retain. Keep going for a little bit longer, maybe 30 more minutes or so. So you just gotta read your body, be real with yourself, be truthful with yourself, but also be kind to yourself. Basically, this is my routine. This right here is my workspace. I think it's so important to create a space that is relaxing and that kind of feels like a calm, organized, and just relaxing environment. That works for me. I got my vase, my vase, and my plant. I got a light here, and if I click that on, I usually get some extra lighting for my study space. So I have all that. I have my water. Sometimes I will have some snacks at the table too to snack on. So you just want to make sure you have everything in your study environment. I have my pens. Candles for me, if I'm being real, are relaxing. I get the candle going and I have everything almost set up. I have all my material that I'm going to be studying. And then I hit up YouTube. I go to I don't know if you've heard of Lofi music. Just go to Lofi hip hop, or I usually type in like study music and this pops up. So I don't know if it's pronounced Lofi or Lo-Fi. I call it Lofi, but it might be Lo-Fi, so don't come for me in the comments. There's different options. I use Lofi hip hop radio for the longest time. And then I also use now the Chill Beats to quarantine to, and it's like a Will Smith edition. So they have a lot of different type of Lofi beats, but to me those beats are like chill, but they're also a little bit upbeat, but not distracting. So that's what I go to. I usually have it playing softly in the background. I'll turn it up right now, but this is kind of what it sounds like. Okay? So it's really a vibe. I have my candle going, I have the music going, I have my whole setup. Sometimes I'll open up a window because I have a window right next to my desk. I'll open up the window, open up the blinds, and then also too, sometimes I might have a small little fan going too. So I literally create a space where I feel comfortable, I feel that I can focus and I can zone in. What's important to me is just having a cool desk space that's organized, that's pleasing, that makes me feel relaxed, and that also makes me feel comfortable. Candles are so big for me. If you haven't tried that, I suggest you try it. It's definitely calming. So light yourself a candle, open up a window, open up some curtains, get you some jams going in the background, come with a plan, be kind with yourself, have some goals, and just get the job done. You can do it. I know it's difficult to stay focused and to be motivated to study. I think that for me, it wasn't until I knew exactly what I wanted to do. When I knew I wanted to do nursing and I knew what it took, that's when I changed my whole study game and my whole study habit. So I get it. Sometimes it's not motivating. Sometimes you're not focused, and sometimes, you know, you just don't want to do it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, so just put in that work, grind it out. Time's gonna pass, so you might as well pass it doing something that's productive. And then just continue to learn yourself, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and be kind to yourself in the process. Don't beat yourself up. And yeah, so I hope you kind of learned something from either my study routine that you might take, especially those Lofi or Lo-Fi beats. And I hope that you got some type of study tips and tricks that you can use, especially the nursing students out there with each class, and especially in the program. I definitely had to tweak my study habits. I hope you took something away from this video. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment any study tips that you took from this video, any of the study tips that you have, or your study routine. I want to know. I want to learn something new. I hope that you learn something new. Stay tuned for more videos. Hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and be ready. And always, always, always remember that you are loved, You are enough, you are strong, and you are capable, okay? You got this, and you better believe that. So stay tuned for more. I'll see y'all later.